Coming to the first annual, thanks for being part of a sellout crowd. For the hopefully first, I don't know if we're going to do this annually, but certainly every time there's a council race, Spokane Spiciest. I'm Luke Baumgarten, I'm part of the Range team. I guess I'm your MC tonight and kind of the timekeeper. We're on a bit of a schedule. I'm going to explain the rules for the candidates in a moment, but I first wanted to start out with the rules for the audience. There's only one. Be nice. Be polite. We hope you hear a lot of policies you approve of. We are sure you're going to hear some policies you don't like so much. Either way, vote your pleasure or displeasure on your ballots when you're all going to vote this fall, right? All right. Okay. So for the candidates, the format's going to be pretty simple. Show of hands if you've seen Hot Ones or at least heard of it. Okay. Imagine battleship-style Hot Ones. We're going to have the candidates come up two at a time, each from their respective districts, and they're going to be asked 5 questions and be handed 5 food items. The food has been lovingly crafted by Tony Brown from Ruins. Tony, if you're still back there. Oh, he might have walked away, but let him hear it in the basement or wherever he is right now. All right. The questions were equally lovingly crafted by Aaron Sellers and I. No, I heard a woo from backstage. I don't know who that was. Thank you. And both the food and the questions are going to get increasingly spicy as we go along. We're going to go slightly out of numerical order for this evening. We're going to begin with District 1 and then move on to District 3 and finish with District 2. That's purely because of candidate schedules. There were some fundraising events tonight and people wanted to show up, so we moved it around so the District 3 folks, or the District 2 folks could join us. I'm going to call our MC Aaron Sellers to the stage here in a moment, but before I do, I should also, having just explained the normal rules, I'll need to explain the audible we had to call for District 1, the shrine you see to my left of Councilmember Bingle. He really wanted to attend tonight, and he really did. But the city council is a part-time position, and most of our council members have other jobs. He is a DJ, and it is wedding season. So he was so booked that not only could he not show up tonight because he has a wedding, he actually had weddings this entire week, so we weren't able to pre-film anything either. So that is his placeholder. And rather than skipping District 1, we just decided to keep Bingle's challenger, Sarah Dixit, on the hot seat a little longer. So she's still only going to get 5 pieces of food, but she's going to have a few extra questions to answer. Because she's the least well-known. You know, Councilmember Bingle has been on council for a while. You deserve a chance to get to know his challenger, Sarah. All right. So is everybody ready? Let's start, without further ado. Give me a big hand for tonight's MC, Aaron Sellers. And keep the applause coming for District 1 challenger, candidate Sarah Dixit.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here today. There's lots of questions I have for Councilmember Bingle, but I'll let his shrine speak for himself tonight, and we will interrogate Sarah a little bit. Keep in mind, I'm really hoping that all of these candidates will take my call in the future when I have to ask them questions again. All right, Sarah, are you ready?
Yeah, as ready as I'll ever be. Oh, I have to shake your hand. Wow.
All right, Chef, if we could get our first plate of food. I also am going to look for a little bit of empathy here. They're going to go through this once. I'm going to go through this 3 times. So as much pain as we put these candidates through, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to do it with all 3 of them. All right. While we're waiting for Chef to bring out our first plates of food, we're actually going to get you started with your first question. Just so we can stay on time. But I'm going to ask you not to start answering until after you've had your first bite of wing one. Actually, you know what? This will time out right. Let's eat first. What order do we go in, Chef?
We're going to go from this side to that side.
Cool. Great. And Luke, do you want to tell them a little bit about the hot sauces we're eating before we get started?
I'm going to do that in the next break.
All right, perfect. All right, Sarah, take a bite of
Left?
left.
Here we
And
go.
I've been instructed to warn you, do not touch your eyes, nose, mouth, or anywhere on your face after eating these wings.
Okay, cool. Okay, here we go.
All right, Sarah. District 1 is widely regarded as the poorest district in the city, as home to some of our most economically distressed neighbors. Affordability has been a key topic of elections, both locally and nationally this year. What do you plan to do to make life materially more affordable for your constituents if you're elected?
I'm a slow chewer, so.
I see, buying yourself time.
No, I promise. Sweet, okay. So I think the big thing for a lot of people here in Spokane, especially in District 1, is making sure they can afford to live here, and also not just afford to live their rent and all those things, but to be able to live their lives. And so I think it's making sure, council has passed things like rent stabilization, which is leading the state, which is amazing. I would also say, so supporting policies like that, increasing our minimum wage, because right now the rate of increase of costs and rent and things like that are not at the same level of people's wage earnings. So making sure we as a city are doing what we can to make sure people are earning so that they can live here. And I would say things like transit, especially in District 1, a lot of the residents rely on our public transit system, so making sure that folks can afford to use our bus system. So right now I know they're working on a low-income fare for folks who cannot afford the $60 rate for each month, but I would say we are a city in which we could totally do free rates for everyone. So being able to do those three things are just examples of how we make our city much more affordable for people living here and for people who are choosing to stay here after they graduate.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to get you to take another bite of that wing, Sarah.
Oh, the same one? Okay. Yeah.
Luke, can I get the visual aid? Hilliard, in District 1, just became Spokane's first arts district.
Woo!
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Napkins right here.
It's so fancy.
You have 2 minutes to draw your best illustration of Hilliard, while telling us whether this is a good thing, a bad thing, or it means literally anything at all. Because I've heard some mixed reviews on the Hilliard Arts District thing, guys.
Okay. Do I need to show as I draw?
You
Like I'm a
can,
teacher?
why don't you talk, explain, and draw, and when you're done with your picture, you can show the audience what you think Hilliard looks like.
Okay, I do have a cheat sheet which I will show to people. My sticker for our district is on my water bottle, but I won't use that. I'm not using it, I promise. So I would describe, okay, so if we have Market running here, and we have a bunch of stores that go on Market.
Tell us whether or not you think the Arts District is a good thing,
I
Sarah.
love the Arts District, yes. And they have the celebration on September 18th, which is a Thursday. The third Thursday is when they do these Creative Arts District events, and they're going to be celebrating their newest designation on the 18th. But I think it's really amazing because, Hilliard has been impacted by the North-South Freeway, which I'll put this way, even though that is totally opposite of how they go. And so I think it's really important that we show the rich history of Hilliard. It is a long-standing place in our community. Folks have lived there for generations, and it has a lot of just amazing things going on there, and a lot of people write it off. And so I think things like the Creative District or the new United building or the new bicycle shop are all helping folks visit Hilliard and show how amazing it is and how they can build their homes there, and making sure that it isn't pushing people out, because that is really important. And oftentimes when we're talking about revitalization, people worry about gentrification. So how do we make sure with the Creative Arts District it's not pushing people out who have lived there for generations? So yeah, but I can keep drawing.
So
But
is it
train
just
yards.
a good thing in name only, in that having a designation, the creative arts designation, makes people want to come to Hilliard, or does it have any material benefits for that neighborhood?
I think it has material benefits. So
Like what?
it's going on the map for when people visit. So I know like there is a whole map of the US where it shows where creative districts are, which is amazing. So it's also helping with tourism. I think when a lot of people visit Spokane, they see downtown or they go to Manitou Park in District 2, but there's not necessarily something in District 1 other than Riverfront Park that people are drawn to, right? To go off just I-90 going straight up on Grand, but to go actually in the neighborhood and to see what the actual culture of our city is. So I think it's really great for the economy as well, especially when we look at all the new small businesses there. I listed some, but there's also Bad Seed and Kismet, and there's a Northeast Community Center as well. So they do a farmers markets on Mondays. So I think things that get people in the community and really excited to be there is really helpful. And we know that having more people in a space makes other people feel comfortable being there. So also making sure we are revitalizing space.
Cool.
Yes, Luke.
That was 3 minutes. Well, I gave you 2,
Perfect.
and then you asked a follow-up question, so I give you an extra 1.
Great.
This
That
is the
was
children of the
level
sun.
1. So we have finished the level 1 spice questions and the wings. Sarah,
Beep.
you
Yeah.
want to move on to level 2 with me?
I totally will. This is the train
Just
yard.
finishing the trains?
Yes. Just so you knew what they were. Okay.
All right. Cheers.
Okay. Oh, good.
All right, heating up. What are we eating, Luke?
That's buoys, which you can buy in grocery stores.
I teach with Tammy Bowie.
Tammy Bowie was my former colleague at the Inlander as
There
well.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, Sarah. After Kate Burke, District 1 has consistently. Oh, no.
Wow.
If I get messy, I get messy. After Kate
one
Burke,
to say.
District 1 has consistently elected conservative candidates.
Yeah.
Despite the district voting for Kamala by almost 5%, actually, in 2024, we ran the numbers on this. Why are local Dems so ineffective? Why haven't they won any elections in that district? And what do you plan to do to be an effective candidate for District 1?
I would say for District 1, we've had, since Kate Burke didn't seek her re-election, that was when Jonathan Bingle ran for the first time against Nagmana Shirazi and Luke Jasmine. And then we had Michael Cathcart as well, and he just got his second re-election in 2023. So I wouldn't say it's been that long since we've had a very progressive candidate representing the district. And a big thing that I've been hearing in the community is that a lot of people aren't hearing from candidates at the doors. So we've been going around to all the different neighborhoods in District 1 talking to people. And an overwhelming thing is that, oh, like this is the first time someone's talked to me in a long time, or I don't even know who currently represents me. And when we inform them, they will tell us that they've never heard of those people before or haven't talked to them before. So I think to me, the big thing we're hearing is that there's a big expectation for people to go to City Hall to interact with their elected officials instead of the elected officials or the candidates going to them, right? So it's really important to our campaign race that we are meeting people where they're at instead of making them come to the places where we might congregate as people who are much more plugged in with the local politics or things like that. But we know that that is a privilege, right? To have the time to be at city council meetings for 6-7 hours, to be at different rallies around town. Maybe you have kids at home, maybe you have multiple jobs, and you can't do that. So being able to go to people to their doors is really important, and I think that has been something that candidates haven't necessarily been putting all their time behind.
Great, take another bite.
Yes.
Both you and your opponent, lovely Councilmember Bingle here, have been accused of having some pretty extreme beliefs. You've said that sex work is real work and that adding alcohol to strip clubs will make them safer. You've also advocated for abortion rights, both in your personal life and in your current career, and you appeared at the June 11th anti-ICE protests. What's your most extreme belief?
I think by that reaction, it would show that my beliefs are not that extreme.
So what is your most extreme belief?
I would say it would be how we just define extremism, right? To me, all the things that you listed are caring for one another regardless of someone's income, their race, their religion, and no matter what experience they've gone through, understanding that we haven't been in their shoes, we don't know their story, and so making things accessible, I don't think is very extreme. But to your point, I don't know, I think potentially people would say that me saying that STA should be free would be extreme, but I think it's something that we can afford to do as a city, and there's actually data to back it up, so.
Let's welcome the candidates from District 3. Is this stage right? I'm not very good at this. Stage right, Christopher Savage, challenger. And stage left, seeking his second term, Zach Sapone. All right.
Milk refill situation. So if you need more milk, as I do apparently, and there is a whole nother gallon in the back, if we run out, I will go get it.
And Aaron, I'm putting 2 minutes on the clock for every question?
2 minutes on the clock for every question.
Got it.
A minute, we're aiming for a minute and a half with 2 candidates. Okay. Tony, we're ready for food. Please don't hate me after this, guys. Do you want to explain the rebuttal system while we're waiting for Tony?
So this isn't, since we didn't have it in the first round, but you'll see these gorgeous cobalt blue connectors are filled with habaneros. So we're going to test this out. We'll see how it works. Candidates have up to 2 rebuttals, but in order to use your rebuttal, at some point while your opponent is answering, and I want to see you chewing on these things. You got to pick out a habanero if you want to rebut, and macerate it enough that I think you're in pain, and then we'll let you do a rebuttal.
Gotta make sure.
And yeah, I will be the judge.
I ran a practice round of this, and the thing that we came up against the most was crosstalk. So I was like, well, how do we get rid of that? We just make it painful to crosstalk.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, we're still waiting for Tony to get those wings plated, I think, but we'll go ahead and jump in with question 1 since it's not that terrible anyways. It's our easy one, and we're gonna start with Chris for this one. So I'm gonna alternate who goes first. I've got a coin in my pocket when we get to those final statements. At the end, I'll have you coin flip, and whoever wins it calls who gets to whatever. If you want to go first, you want to go last, you pick if you win the coin flip. Got it?
Right. Got it.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, I guess we actually have food now, so. I promise, they taste great. It's just,
Sure.
yeah.
You have one more round after this.
Yep.
I cannot believe you're doing this 3 times.
I've just recovered from the last one, so we'll start over. All right, everybody take a bite of the wing on their leftmost side of the plate. And as you're eating, you've both said affordable housing was one of the biggest issues facing your district. I've been on your websites, it's front and center on both of them. What is your plan to actually make housing more affordable? And we'll start with you, Chris.
So what we can do to make housing more affordable here in Spokane is we can look into our comprehensive plan that has dictated us by the Growth Management Act. We have 10 places around the Spokane that we can actually annex to create more land in a natural free market sense that can actually bring the prices down naturally to satiate demand. We need to make sure that our developers have the option not to have more apartments, but more houses. There are so many people on the doors that I am talking to that are saying their future generations, their kids, their grandchildren are being priced out of Spokane because we don't have the amount of inventory, and that is the reason why, is because it's so expensive, because there's so much demand. We need to build more houses so that there's more people here, that we can actually have a future generations here in Spokane, so that we're not having a drain in Spokane right now. So what we need to do is make sure that we annex more land so we can build more houses.
All right. And I noticed as you were talking, Councilmember Zapone has shot himself in the foot by eating the spiciest wing first.
Jeez.
That was good.
He's gonna
We're
save.
just gonna be on fire this whole time.
He's gonna save one bite of that for when we actually get
Jeez.
back around to that. And
To be fair, it was on my left, and
that's.
so
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Your plate got tilted.
yeah.
Wasn't sabotage.
It was
I
a
promise.
setup.
What are you going to do to make housing more affordable, Zach?
Well, first I have to give a shout out to my former students. When I first started teaching in the Tri-Cities, they would give me hot Takis at lunch and laugh at my reaction from hot Cheetos and Takis. So this will be a video
Sorry,
for them.
1 second. Will, we talked about no recording. Can you please put your phone away? Thank you. All right, you can continue, Zach.
All right, so a shout out to them. They'll enjoy watching this because I'm sweating right now. But yes, affordable housing is absolutely the most important issue. It's affordability all around, and we're seeing it across the country. Expanding the UGA is just an expansion of single home lots, expansion of development problems, and it costs us more in the end because we have to expand our water systems, our sewer systems, and all of that has an impact on our rates, and we have to maintain those with water towers. That's not a real solution. We need to focus on infill and development and density. When I walk around the city and drive around the city, I see a lot of empty lots around downtown, up and down Division, and in our neighborhoods. And we need to fill those lots and make sure that they're dense. Since being on council, I have delivered some results on that. We've created the Pavement to People program, which has incentivized housing in those surface lots. So if you look at the housing by LC, that's being built with that incentive. We've reformed parking requirements to allow more diversity of housing. Next up, I want to work on land value tax. And what that would do is it would change the tax incentive so that the property owners who are just sitting on vacant lands would be then incentivized to develop those lots.
All right, that's your 2 minutes.
It's actually 1:30.
Oh, we've got a rebuttal, I think.
The whole
Want
line.
to go for it? Yep. Give it to me. I want to see it. Yep.
Holy.
1 minute for the rebuttal. 1 minute for the rebuttal. As soon as you stop coughing, I'm going to start the clock.
Excuse me. Oh, man. It's like what you see on the hot ones. So I'd like to rebut that with the removal of parking minimums, that has actually hurt our neighborhoods in Spokane. Just like up at the Garland Street Apartments, we are having a huge problem that we're going to see in the future because with putting parking onto the street now, it is hurting the local businesses there, as well it's going to make it very unsafe for our EMS. Oh, man. Our EMS and well as our fire stations. It's going to make it so small in those streets that they won't be able to access when actual emergencies happen. So we need to make sure that we're making competent policies that isn't going to adversely affect our neighborhoods, especially our North Hill and our Emerson Garfield districts, because they need to have good policies that are not making it worse, where it's pushing more of that parking into the
15
neighborhoods.
seconds.
That was it.
Fair, we'll move on. All right, everybody, I feel like we've definitely started this one off rougher with the habanero and accidentally sabotaging Councilmember Zappone, but we're going to move to wing number 2, and as we're eating, I will ask you the second question.
And maybe I should say right now, since you did the wrong one, you ate a habanero, don't touch your eyes. Please. Okay.
Not as spicy.
Nope. I actually think this one's easier than the first one. Oh my God, I just went out of order too. Okay, this is totally fine. Okay, we're gonna talk about collaboration, and Zach, I'm gonna toss this one to you first. With a progressive majority on the city council and a conservative majority on the Board of County Commissioners, getting policies passed across our region requires cross-party collaboration, basically whichever board you're on. Zach, you have some pretty progressive ideas about transit, like free fare and bringing back bus wraps. Weirdly controversial, I know. With a conservative-controlled STA board, how will you actually collaborate to make your pitches to your constituents a reality?
Yeah, if you've been following along at STA, it's definitely been a challenge of working with a board. The city and the progressive members of the city are actually in the minority there. And since I was first elected 4 years ago, I have been championing and trying to get more people access to transit, which is more affordable for people, so that it prevents people from losing their jobs and not being able to get to work, and prevents people from being homeless in the first place. And so since I've been on council, I think that is like snot coming out of my nose.
Yep.
So since being on there, we have worked with our community members at large to educate and grow some pressure on the board. And I'm proud to say that after 3 years of that effort, we were finally able to pass a reduced low-income fare program at STA that was voted on by a 6-2 majority at the STA board meeting. When just previously, a couple of years prior to that, it was defeated with, I made a motion to start the conversation on reduced fare, and not a second person even seconded that motion. And so it took 2 years, but we were able to change that attitude. Thank you, thank you.
Are we at time?
Oh,
We're at time.
We were able to change that by sticking
We're at
to our
time,
values
Zach.
and,
No, actually, no.
and
He's got a
talking
little bit of
about
time.
it.
Sorry. I thought you were done.
We lied to you, I'm sorry. Chris, this is essentially the same question, but we're going to tweak it a little bit. You want to pass more conservative policies over on the city council. Oh my God, I'm already sweating. You've talked about potentially rolling back the rental registry that landlords are forced to be a part of. How will you collaborate with the progressives on council to pass your policies?
I'll collaborate with do I need to take another bite, or? Because I did at the beginning, but
Do you feel like you're still suffering from the habanero?
that is quite a rebuttal, yes.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Okay, thank you. So there's a lot of people that you can actually see on my endorsement list, like for instance, Steve Corker. He's a past Democratic City Council president. That shows majorly that I will collaborate with everyone across the aisle, because we all belong here in Spokane. And it doesn't matter if I disagree with you, I will always meet and I will always talk with you, because that is what the responsibility of a city council member is. I will look you in the eyes, I will make sure that I am paying attention to you, I won't be on my phone, I won't be on my laptop, I will make sure that I'm listening to you, the constituent, to make sure that that is who is being listened to.
All right,
I'm ready.
Luke, we've got
hot.
a rebuttal.
All right, we got another challenge. You only get 2 of these, guys.
Starts out smooth.
Just wait.
All right,
Well,
yeah.
it's growing.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that was, you ate like 2/3 of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've had a lot of growth. So I just want to point out, Chris, you and I grew up together. And you said a statement at a previous forum that impacted my life, that you said I'm championing LGBTQ rights and other small minorities in our community. And I called you, and you texted me back, and you said, sorry, Zach, I'm busy running my campaign. I'll see you on the campaign trail. I'm a constituent in your district. You just said, everyone belongs. The statements you said at that forum were not about belonging. You said small populations don't belong in Spokane, and you spread lies by talking about transgender bathrooms that the city doesn't fund. And then when I called you, someone that's known you since we were 12, you didn't have the decency to take 2 minutes to talk to me. So I
15
don't know
seconds.
how voters can believe you on that.
Your time's up. I'm gonna give you a
Quick
heads
question.
up right now.
I
You
thought
don't
we
need
weren't taking
to
personal.
take.
You okay?
I'm gonna give you a chance to rebut that without eating a pepper, because our next question is going to touch on some of your comments. I do think because you made comments at a public sphere, at a public debate, I do feel like it's probably fair for Mr. Zappone to bring up comments made in public, but you'll have a chance right now to respond to that, I promise.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna ask the question first, but I
No worries.
promise it has an opening for you to touch on that, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, everybody eat your third wing and maybe take a glass of milk and a breath, yeah?
And don't touch your eyes.
This one, I'll give you a heads up right now. This is one of the slow burn ones, so it feels great at first, and then in like 20 seconds, you're gonna be suffering.
It compounds, too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Keep pops on.
Chris, we're gonna start with you on this one, but the question starts with Zach's name, so this is just a warning. Zach, you've publicly accused Chris of supporting, quote, big money interests. Chris, you said at a previous forum that Zach has an agenda to help out LGBT and other small groups. I want to give you both a chance to set the record straight. Without using the words the voters, the people, or the public, tell us exactly which kinds of District 3 residents you plan to fight for. Chris.
Okay. So who I plan to fight for is everyone. That is who you're supposed to represent in District 3. It doesn't matter whether you're on a Republican, conservative, or Democratic liberal. That's what you need to do as a responsible city council member, is to go up there with the will of, you can't say people, right? Okay, the will of your constituents, and to make sure that you are actually being able to listen to them and make sure that you are being heard up there. That is one thing that I'm hearing throughout our district right now, is they are not being heard. No one is being able, there's people that send in emails, people that call our city council member, and they do not respond. That is something that needs to change because it shows that there's a disconnect between the constituents and the city council member. How are you supposed to vote for your district if you don't know what your district wants? You need to make sure that you're available to them, you're accessible to them, and that's what you need to do by answering your emails, by answering your phone, and by pushing back on what Zach said earlier, is that when I go down to city council, there are several times that we could talk, and there is no time that he comes up to me. He barely makes even eye contact with me. So when it comes down to actually being at the city council level, I would push back on saying, yes, I did send that text out saying that we were on the campaign trail. As a candidate, you're a different kind of specialized person now as a constituent. So that means that you're very busy, and I understand that with Zach as well. I did not want to bother him. We need to focus on reaching you, the constituents, to make sure that we understand what you are talking about and what you need up there.
All right, Zach, your turn. Same question.
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple for me. I represent and fight for working and middle-class families. That's who my background, where I came from. I grew up here in Spokane and graduated from North Central High School, the same school my grandpa graduated from. And this is the school I teach at today. And every day I see people in our community that are struggling, and they're struggling to get ahead. They don't have access to computers or paper at home to learn. They don't have transportation. They don't have health care. And things are just getting worse. We see it from the federal government. Things are getting worse for folks. And so I meet with folks. I go to their neighborhoods. I go to their houses, and I talk to our neighbors in our community. And I'm always going to be on the side of workers and middle-class families because we need to build a society where everyone has a fair shot to get ahead.
Do I have any District 3 voters in the House? Can I get a show of hands? District 3 voters, do you feel like you got answers from both these guys as to who they're going to represent in office? Yes. Yes? All right, we're moving on. Everybody take a bite of your fourth wing.
Oh boy.
This is the one I bit earlier on accident.
Yeah, I can't tell if the beer makes it better or not.
It does it first and then it doesn't.
Beer and milk in the mouth at the same time is a weird feeling.
Okay, Zach, you're up first on this one. This is a long question, so bear with me. If either of you have any follow-ups, want to make sure you're answering it correctly, just ask. Zach, you voted in favor of reinstating Prop 1, kind of, and in favor of other policies that further criminalize homelessness. Chris, you've stated that you're not in favor of new taxes, and you also want to reinstate Prop 1. Feel fair?
Yes.
Okay. With a tight budget, a jail that's always packed, little money to pay for more shelters, a new jail, or any medical treatment beds, at least not without new tax or creative revenue options, where do you plan to put homeless people, and how do you plan to pay for it? Yep. Zach, you're up first.
Yep. I think to address homelessness, we passed and supported our first policy that's really a comprehensive policy called Home Starts Here. And it is about comprehensiveness around housing, outreach navigation, healthcare, and economic stability, because people need to make sure that they are stable before preventing homelessness. And the question specifically, where do people go? And that is the struggle. I've been very supportive of intermediary places for people to go right now with long-term solutions too. And so some things that we can do right now that we're in talks about is about safe parking and safe camping spaces. Partnering with our faith leaders, having churches that can allow camping on their sites, allowing RVs to have a place where they can go, and then you can access services while you're there. And then long term, I've been supportive of talks that we're having, regional talks around facilities, around a new jail that's safe and humane, but also providing mental health services and stabilization beds too. And so all of that are things that we absolutely necessarily need. I'm troubled that we see from the national government that the Trump administration is coming in, sending the National Guard and thinking that's going to solve the problem. And we know that former Mayor Nadine Woodward was here with Jim Jordan talking about the National Guard coming to Spokane to address homelessness. I don't know where my opponent stands on that issue, but I would say that we never want the National Guard to come in Spokane.
All right, Chris? Do you need me? It was a long question. You good? You ready to go?
Repeat it, but I just want to say I can't believe you're doing this 3 times.
Me either. With a tight budget, a jail that's always packed, little money to pay for new shelters, medical treatment beds, etc., at least not without new tax or creative revenue, Where do you plan to put homeless people, and how do you want the city to pay for it?
So what we need to do is we need to have a new correctional facility that has wraparound services, that have mental health services, addiction services, and on-site job training. We want to make sure that these people are getting the support that they need and making sure that they're not dying on our streets. We have a count of about 500, 600 people that is going to be at the end of this year of people who have passed away on our street. It is not compassionate to have these people die out there in Spokane on our streets. We need to make sure they are getting the right help so that we are actually helping them get back in society, because it is such a huge hurdle for them to do that. They need to have a lot of support systems that are allowing them to get back into society. How we can look into this is we can actually look into our own city council budget. It's little things here and there, but there are several positions that we can get rid of, like for instance, the City of Spokane City Council spokesperson. They get paid $120,000 a year. We can get removed of that because pretty much everyone on the city council can speak pretty well for themselves, especially when it comes to media. I see it all the time on their social media. We can also look into another one, which is our parliamentarian on the city council. We do not need someone who's teaching us Robert's Rules of Orders. Everyone up there on the city council should know how to do and run a meeting up there, and we can save ourselves money and pass it on to other people by making sure that we're building more stabilization facility centers, as well as making sure that our shelters are run by good, competent nonprofits, such as UGM Model or Adult Teen Challenge. Adult Teen Challenge has a 12-month program that they have a 70% success rate of helping people out of addiction, as well as they follow up with on-site job training. This is what we need to do to make sure that we're helping our people out.
30 seconds.
I do have a quick follow-up for you, actually. So you mentioned jail. Do you want to run the jail tax to either improve the current jail or build a new jail?
We need to build a new correctional facility because it is very outdated. I've talked to some of the people who work there, as well as the people who have been inmates there, and it's not safe. We are tripling up on some of our beds there, as well as people who are working there. I feel very unsafe because of how outdated the systems are. We need to make sure that everyone there feels safe and that we're actually helping people out of addiction and out of their mental health problems, as well as making sure people who are helping people there feel safe as well.
Time.
Do you want to run the jail tax, though, on
Yes.
the ballot? Yes. Okay. All right. I'm just going to warn you right now, this one's bad.
I know.
Yeah, sorry, Zach. We're going to do it together. I think, by my count, you both have one rebuttal left. If you want to use it, you don't have to, but I will let you know right now, you can't use a rebuttal on your opponent's final statement. So if you're going to use it, it's going to be after this question. Understood?
Understood.
Great. Do you want to do the coin flip now, or do you want to wait until we've suffered through this wing?
Doesn't matter to me.
All right, let's just get it out of the
Just get it over
way.
with.
Zach, you are the incumbent, so I'm going to give the advantage to your challenger. Heads or tails?
Heads.
We've got heads. Do you want to go first or second on the final statement?
Let's go second.
Okay. All right, we're going to eat our wing. We're going to ask the last question, and then we'll move to Councilmember Zapone's final statement.
It's fun.
It's one word.
I'm gonna do this in my thank yous in a second, but this whole event was Erin's idea. So as you see the look of pain on her face, just wouldn't like if OSHA might be in the room or there, just it was in no way Range Media who subjected her to this.
Yeah, so you can feel a little bad, but you don't have to feel that bad. I did sign myself up for this. Okay, Chris, it's your turn to go first. I'm going to ask these questions separately. This is the level 5 spice. Sorry in advance. Hope you guys take my phone call later. Chris, you say elected officials need to respect the will of the people, especially when it comes to Proposition 1, which was approved, again, by 75% of the voters. However, this is your 4th time running for office, the exact same office. Voters have said no to you 3 times already. How is continuing to run respecting the will of the people?
That's a good question. So what is different this time about the first 3 times is the first 3 times I tried to do it all alone. If any of you run for office, I recommend that you get a team behind you. That is what's different now. I can reach more people and I can do a lot more things because I can focus more on donors and doorbells. That is what I couldn't do the first 3 times. I tried to do it all myself. It was very selfish and very kind of egotistical thing, but this time I realized that you need to have a team with you because you can't do anything alone. That is why I'm running also, is I'm not quitting on my community. It's not about the will, it's not the will of the voters that don't want me. It's more about I'm showing them I'm persistent, I'm dedicated, I will not quit on my home. There's a lot of people that seem to be moving out of Spokane because of what's going on. That is not me. I'm going to fight till my dying breath for all of you because that's what you all deserve. It is for you that I am running for office. It's not about me. You are the top priority in my mind when I go down there, and I go down to City Hall every Monday night, make sure that I do reports to make sure that other people are informed and educated on what's going on at City Council. That is what is different about this time. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Probably shouldn't have taken 3 bites. But that is what is different this time, is I am making sure that I have you all in mind, and it's not my own personal agenda that I'm going up there with. When I talk on the doors, when I hear people say they are so afraid to come downtown, they're being priced out of their houses and it's to the point where they are selling everything in their house, that hurts my heart, and that's what makes me want to run for office, because we need good candidates up there to make sure that they're making good policies that isn't going to affect your pocketbook, as well as not make you feel unsafe to be in Spokane. Because in Spokane, we all belong.
All right, everybody. He deserves a round of applause just for making it through that
give him a round of
spicy
applause.
fight. Oh my God. Zach, I don't know how you did that first.
It's been fun.
Was this mine? Was this yours? Have you
No,
cracked
I
into
know.
this? Great, because we're out of milk and I need to fill that up for the next one. All right, Zach. I've heard rumors that you're planning to run for higher office before your city council term would finish. Will you commit to a full 4 years on city council if reelected?
I mean, the quick answer is you never know what opportunities arise, and I'm time limited. If I were elected again, I would have 4 more years, and after that, you don't know when other opportunities come up. So I can't commit to anything, except for I can commit that right now I'm running for this office, and I am running to represent my constituents as I have for the last 4 years.
If they don't know that you're going to be here for 4 years, if you can't commit to a full 4 years, why should they elect you?
No, I think it's easy. I have a record that I've demonstrated of fighting for working and middle-class families, and I'm going to continue to do that. And voting for me is continuing to vote for those values of what we represent in our community, and that's what we got to keep fighting for. As you just heard, my opponent talked about him fighting for folks. We've had someone that was served in office locally who was a reporter that just showed up and reported the news. It didn't turn out very well for us. And we need someone that has experience, that has actually passed policy, championed that policy, and helped working middle-class families. My opponent's being funded by Larry Stone and the big businesses of our community. What's changed is that he's run this time, and now he's pandering to the far right. When we grew up, that wasn't the Chris that I knew, and that's not the one that our community knew. And so that's what's changed, and I'm running to represent our working middle-class families, and I know that we need to defend that in the face of federal legislation that's coming from the Trump administration. I just was up here and was committing to stand up and continuing to fight to make sure that the National Guard does not come into our city, while my opponent did not mention at all where he stands on that issue. And so I'm concerned about where the values of my opponent and the opposing party are going. We need someone who's championing our values, because we do actually have legislation that says in Spokane we all belong, and I know because I voted and passed that legislation.
Okay.
All right, don't go anywhere.
All right.
Councilmember Zappone.
You made it through. Zach, 2 minutes to give your final statement.
Standing up.
Yep, go for it.
Sure.
He'll give you a wave when you have, what, 15 seconds left?
Yeah, I'll give you a wave.
All right. I'm Zach Zappone. I'm a teacher born and raised here in Spokane, and I'm running for office for re-election for one simple reason, and that's because I believe that everyone deserves a fair shot. As a teacher in our schools and our public education system, I see the challenges of our community every day. I know the struggles of getting to school on time and missing the bus. I know the struggles of not having resources at home, and I know the struggles that our community is facing. I have students that aren't able to come to class because their teeth hurt and they don't have medical insurance and access to the dentist. I ran because I wanted to change that, and I've done that. Since being on council, we've made big progress on affordability, on public safety, and safer streets. Now at my school, students are able to go to the doctor in the class, behavioral health and medical health, because we have CHAS clinics in almost all of our high schools. That's something that I fought for and got passed in our city. We have affordability. We have the highest permitting, year-over-year permitting on our housing, and we're seeing housing prices stabilize. Those are things that I fought for and passed, and it hasn't been easy votes. My opponent wants to move backwards and take us back to policies that are more restrictive and build less housing, while also saying that we're going to build more housing, but implementing policies that have not worked in the past. I defended and made investments in public safety. We passed a 0.1% sales tax increase thanks to you all, the voters. And now we have neighborhood resource officers back on our streets. And we've made a lot of progress on our safer streets. We have bike lanes and improvements in infrastructure. We've created adaptive projects where we can do quick builds in our community. Those are all things I've heard from neighborhoods and that we need to do and continue to invest in that. So I believe that we have a lot of progress or a lot more to go, and we need to keep moving in that direction. And I'm going to continue to be on City Council fighting for our values every day because we need to make sure that everyone has a fair shot. Thank you.
All right. You ready? All right. Mr. Savage.
I can't believe you ate that first. Holy crap. So I could go into my experience, I could go into what makes me qualified for office, but I want you all to know that I am your champion. I am going to be your defender. That is why I'm running for city council. I am tired of seeing our city go from bad to worse. I have seen our city turned into a shadow of its former self. People don't want to come downtown. We have a 30% vacancy rate downtown. We're going to be at a $3.8 million deficit at the end of this year. That's going to grow to a $12.8 million deficit at the end of next year because people don't want to come downtown to patronize our businesses, our retail, our shops that make us the pretty much Spokane you all know of. This is the heart of our community, and that's what I'm going to fight for, is the heart of our community, you all. You are the top priority in my mind. I want to make sure that you all have your defender, your champion that's going to listen to you, that when you're up on the dais, when you're making your public commentary, they're listening to you, and they're not on their laptop, they're not on their phone. We need to make sure we have a council member who is going to listen to you, take your thoughts and implement them into District 3, where we actually have good policies that we could be implementing so you all can experience your city, you can experience your parks, you can experience the downtown in the way that it's meant for. It's for you. You need to be all down there so that we can all understand that this is a community that makes us all here. We all belong here in Spokane, and that's why I'm here. I'm fighting for you all and fighting for good, competent policies that we can make sure that Spokane is a city that is for all and for everyone who wants to come here. That is why I'm running for city council. I'm running for all you all.
Punctuality is incredible. Give our candidates all a round of applause for punctuality.
You survived. You made it through. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, round of applause for everybody. Councilmember Zapone, Christopher Savage, thank you guys so much for coming.
All right, are we ready to get started?
We're ready.
Great, let's take a bite of our first wing. Round 3 for District 2. See, this one's good.
That's good.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Alejandro, you're going to get to go first on this one, but this is kind of a little bit of a back and forth.
Okay.
We're going to rip the Band-Aid off. This is technically a nonpartisan race without an incumbent. You've both described yourselves as Democrats. Party politics are really complicated. I get it. I'm curious, how do each of you define Democrat? You're going to go first, Alejandro.
So to me, growing up, that's, Democrats are kind of the core of my values. I have democratic values. I came to the U.S. 17 years ago from Medellin, Colombia. It's a different culture, different language. I had to learn English. In Spokane, I kind of felt embraced by Spokane. The people, the community kind of fell in love. And that's who I represent or what my core values are. But from my perspective, what I'm trying to do is, I know we can't say people, but I'm trying to represent.
That was just for them.
Oh, that's for them. Okay. I am trying to represent all because I think our politics are very divisive these days. It's either too far left or too far right. So it leaves people like myself without a voice, disenfranchised. And I'm here to represent everybody. I've been focused on knocking on doors, engaging with people, and that's what's going to get me elected. So my values is something that I'm going to leave at the door when it comes to politics, because these issues aren't red or blue. These are local issues, and I think that's what we need to focus on, is trying to find a solution for those.
If you had to put it in one sentence, how would you define Democrat?
It's a party of inclusion, love and unity, and so that's what I want to represent.
Perfect. I'll toss it to you, Kate. How do you define Democrat?
I've been a lifelong Democrat my entire life, and I'm very thankful to have the endorsement of 19 to 20 past and previous and current elected officials who are Democrats. To me, being a Democrat means that you're willing to fight for people who cannot fight for themselves. It means that you need to stand up and talk about what's going to be the best interest for somebody who's never had the privilege that you have had. And I'm very proud to be endorsed and supported, funded specifically, by people that hold those values. This race is a little bit of a head scratcher because both candidates are claiming to be a Democrat. I am funded by people who have always supported Democrats. My opponent is funded by people who have not supported Democrats. So it's something that we all need to know. I am a candidate who believes in transparency and accountability. I do not mean to sling mud at all, but the public deserves to know what are our intentions. And some of our intentions will come directly from who is funding us. We need to look at that very clearly.
All right, I'm gonna toss it. Actually, I'm not gonna make you eat that.
Okay.
No, this is a good thing for you. This was a two-part question, and you're up next. So maybe, if you don't feel like you get to touch on a rebuttal in this, you're more than welcome to eat the habanero, but I don't want to do it to you for no reason.
Okay.
Your district is the most blue district in Spokane when we look both at local elections and national elections. It votes time and time again for Democrats or progressives if we take party affiliation out of it. What makes you the better candidate to represent specifically District 2?
So I've been here 17 years. I've experienced Spokane in a lot of different stages in my life. A college student living in the Logan neighborhood, a graduate living in Browns Addition, to a young professional with a young kid living downtown and now live in South Hill. So I've experienced Spokane, a lot of different neighborhoods, a lot of different challenges in the last 17 years. I've seen some great progress in Spokane, but we are facing some challenges. And somebody that's multicultural, multilingual, somebody that actually came here, learned the language, learned the community, and somebody that has proven leadership skills, operational skills, I know I can bring some value to District 2. Can I eat this to do the rebuttal?
All right,
or
how
should
much time do you have left?
A minute.
Okay, so when it comes to, I know we're talking about claim. I am a Democrat, but we do talk about how this is a nonpartisan race, and I think we're feeding into the issue where we put people in a defensive state when my first question when I go to a neighbor's door is not, are you a Democrat or Republican? Because that puts them in a defensive position. What I like to ask is, what do they care about? Why do they like Spokane so much? What do they want to see in Spokane? And I think whether they're Democrats or Republicans, we always have a common ground of Spokane, and that's what we should focus on. Not necessarily where the money's coming from, because I am proud of who my donors are. They're independents, they're Democrats, they're Republicans. My message has been very clear since the beginning.
15 seconds.
And I think we have something in common, that if Republicans, Democrats, or independents are funding my campaign, then I agree with them, because what I want to see is a future in Spokane where I have the same opportunities, or my kids have the same opportunities I had when I came here 17 years ago.
Perfect.
Time.
All right, Kay, I saw you got ahead of yourself. You didn't have to do that. This is a two-part question.
Touching my nose too much.
That's fun. The first two are not too bad. So if you're already feeling it, that's all right, Kate, I'm going to toss it to you. What makes you the better candidate to represent District 2? And then we will eat that next spiciest wing.
I'm the better candidate because I want to be accountable to you all, not special interests, not big money donors. I'm the better candidate because I have spent my career standing up for people, both as a prosecutor for working on domestic violence felonies with helping victims stand up against their abusers, as well as being a nonprofit leader working with called Cuidando los Niños in Albuquerque, where I worked with homeless families with young children, specifically trying to get them the stability that they desperately needed. I forever want to spend my life bettering this community. I do not have plans to leave, ever. And that's part of the reason why I'm running, is because my children live here. I live here. My friends live here. We can do better in this community. The nation is crazy right now, but we are the first line of defense to protecting our community. I have spent the past 6 years being an active community volunteer. I have been the chair of the Moms Demand Action Group, which leads gun law reform initiatives, and was part of lobbying for the ordinance that was passed in 2024, that increased our gun safety laws. I have also worked with the League of Women Voters, and I'm very interested in talking with my community. This is a nonpartisan race. I do not hide the fact that I'm a Democrat at the doors, but I am running because I think we can do so much better if we listen to both sides of the issue, because I think we need policy that addresses various perspectives. And that's going to take some work, and that's going to take some collaboration.
15 seconds.
I'm done.
All right.
Punctuality
Okay.
continues.
You made it through round one. How are you feeling?
She's
Great.
already round 2.
Round 2 it is. Kate, take another bite for me.
All right.
This is doused.
This is one of the hot sauces I ate to prep, the like buoys.
They're really good, you guys. As I choke.
One of my worst case scenario crisis plans was what happens if I have to give the Heimlich. Okay. Kate, you're up first on this one.
Okay.
This is also gonna have a little back and forth. What I'm gonna let you know right now is you're gonna get 1 minute for part 1 and 1 minute for part 2. So 2 minutes total, yeah?
Each of us.
Each of you. Since you're running for office, hopefully you've been paying close attention to local politics, yeah? What is one decision that the progressive supermajority on council has made that you agree with? Kate, you first.
Well, I'm a big proponent of adopting Mayor Lisa Brown's home ordinance. It was just adopted in August, and what it stands for is healthcare, outreach, multidisciplinary engagement, and the economy. And it is a solutions-driven, data-driven, evidence-based theory. Now, how it plays out in real life is something that I want to see addressed. And for every ordinance that we're passing these days, we need to have a period where we study the results of it and talk to people on the streets, talk to the service providers, talk to the people who are receiving the services to make sure that it's working. But I have great hope that we will
15
see
seconds.
a lot of progress through this initiative. We just have to stay the course.
All right, Alejandro, what is one decision the progressive supermajority on council has made that you agree with?
So most recently, we passed the ordinance to protect our immigrant community in public spaces. I think it's something that, you know, on the 20 questions I answered, I think our immigrant community is very important to our community here in Spokane. And so it's something that I would have worked with the community. I would hope that our city council engaged with our immigrant leaders, the immigrant community, consultants to make sure that we can protect those that are living here in Spokane. I work with immigrant families in our Spokane plant here. It's about 75% Russian-speaking community. And then in Stockton, California, I work with about 95% Hispanic community.
15 seconds.
So I know how important our immigrant community is as a whole, so I support that.
Cool. All right, you get 1 more minute each. Yep. Kate, what's a decision they've made that you disagree with?
Can it be a procedure?
Sure.
So around the time that we were debating what ordinance would replace Prop 1, there was a long city council meeting. I think it went until 1 a.m. And what happened was one vote didn't turn out the way that people thought it was going to happen. There was a whole lot of public testimony. And then in the wee hours of the morning, it was brought back. And there was a lot of people in that audience that I think rightfully so were upset, because many people had already left, assuming that it was done. And that's not democracy. In my opinion, we needed to table that ordinance so that it could be readdressed when people were there from the beginning.
All right.
Thanks.
Your turn, Alejandro. What's a decision they've made that you disagree with?
So Prop 1 is one that it was passed by 75% of the people. And so to me, you know, I've in politics, to have 75% of the people to agree on something, it's pretty outstanding. And whether the policy worked or it didn't work, and if we knew better as our city council or administration, I think we should have done to kind of garnish the trust of the people that voted for Prop 1 is we should have engaged with them since day one and said, here's what works from the policy, here's what doesn't work, and let's make something better. But instead, from my perspective, we said, no, this doesn't work. Therefore, we're not going to enforce it, or we're not going to do anything with it. And then, you know, what happened that day was,
15
seconds. We
seconds.
know better. And for the people to have trust in our local government is we need to listen to them. And so, to me, it's having a plan, having a guideline, and engaging with people on what works and what doesn't work in a policy that they voted for. And I don't think
Time.
we did that.
All right. Similar veins. Okay. Oh, we've got a rebuttal. We've got a rebuttal. Luke, you've got time?
And did we eat the habanero?
There's a
need
bite
to
out
eat
of
the
that.
whole
All
thing?
right. Okay. Well, take another bite. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, wow.
There we go. That's the
All right.
spirit.
That's an earned rebuttal.
All right.
Okay. Am I starting?
Time starts now.
Okay. Prop 1 did pass by 75% of the voters. So I think what's important about what the city council did was they respected the intent of Prop 1, but they also added to it to make it more flexible. I'm a prosecutor. I've worked with police officers for a long time. The way we write things, the way that code is drafted is very important to whether or not something can be enforced, whether or not it's too vague. And the current ordinance now starts with engagement first. It is the cure, not the Band-Aid. We were simply, with Prop 1, we were just pushing people away and telling them they couldn't be here, but where could they be? We didn't know. We didn't have an answer for them. Now we actually can get them into services so that they can get stabilized, they can have their needs met. So I think that what we did was actually improve upon the voters' wills by thinking of a lasting solution for everybody.
All right. It looks like we've got another rebuttal
All
over
right, let's
here.
do it. Get in there. Let me see it. All right. I'll start your timer when you start talking.
Yeah.
So, from my perspective, what happened, I think it was June 16th, is there wasn't necessarily a plan, right? Whew. It kicks afterwards. So,
They're gnarly.
so what we need to do is not only do we need to engage with people that were there on that day, speaking about the issues that they see with the ordinance that they were trying to put in place, but it's also the plan, right? We have to have things that we can execute, guidelines, and it didn't seem like we had one back then, and I've asked people now if we do have a plan of engaging with people, because I agree. I think what we've lost in the community is that engagement, talking to people that need the most help, getting them to the resources that they're looking for, whether it's mental health or drug addiction resources. And I don't believe the plan is set of how we're actually going to execute this. It took 2 years to come up with another ordinance, but it only took them 2 months to actually put this ordinance in place. And to put this ordinance in place, I don't think there was a plan from the administration side or our city council of how we actually going to execute this ordinance. And so whether we say that we're doing the right thing and we know better than the voters and we did something better, I don't think we've actually given the voters a plan of how this is going to be done.
Time.
All right. That's time. Thank you both. We're moving to round 3. Does anybody need a re-up on their milk?
I will.
I'm good.
I'll get you when you're talking.
It's slippery.
Don't don't let it touch the lips.
This one is very slow burn. Okay. You have a lot in common. I mean, I think we've seen this. It sounds like we've been talking about the same issue for a little bit. You both love the scoop. You both want to install hawk lights.
I didn't know that.
You both support the joint parks levy and school bond. When I was going through your 20 questions, there was a lot that you two had in common. One area that you seem to have a lot of disagreement on was how to actually address homelessness. So we are going to keep talking about it. What is one concrete policy you want to implement that will actually improve public safety for the people of Spokane? Kate, you're first.
Leaning on my previous role as a prosecutor, I think it's really important that we establish an independent agency, one that is not police, thank you, that is not fire, but that is an independent agency that will handle calls for service that are not violent and that are not criminal. That will free up our police service to actually attend to the drug deals and the arsons and the crime. But more, and just as importantly, an independent agency that would be staffed by people that are good with handling people in crisis, in mental health crisis, and addiction crisis. Because when I went on a ride along early on in this campaign, one of the things that I saw, as affable as our neighborhood resource officer is, Micah Prim, people would not take him up on any sort of services or any care. And I thought about it for a long time, and at first I was having a hard time understanding why, and then I realized he has a gun on his hip. There is a lack of trust between police officers and our community, especially those who have lived on the streets, who have such hard life experience. And so what we need to do is look at upstream models where we fund independent agencies to actually get people to the services they need. Fire should be handling fire. Police should be handling crimes. People in mental health illnesses need people specialized to deal with their issues. And we're seeing this in LA, and we're seeing it actually in
30
Albuquerque,
seconds.
where I was a prosecutor, and it's already reaping great benefit.
All right, Alejandro. Yeah. One concrete policy you want to implement to improve public safety.
So actually, I'm going to steal this from the mayor of San Jose. They had a really good quote that said, "We have progressive views with pragmatic solutions." I think when it comes to public safety, to me, it's not compassionate to allow people to be on the streets using drugs. I think, if it was one of my son or my daughter, I would do everything possibly I could to get them off the street and into the services that they need, whether it's mental health or drug addiction. And my hope is that if I'm not in this community and I'm no longer here, is that we still have a community and people that care about those that are most in need and get them a path forward. So to me, like Kate said, most people potentially don't want these resources, but we have to understand that these people are in this position because they've lost control of their lives. And to expect them to make decisions for themselves, whether it's mental health or drug addiction services, we need to give them a guiding hand, get them off the streets, get them into the resources that they need. San Jose, what they're doing today is that if you refuse services for three times, the fourth time you get two options. You either go to mandatory rehabilitation or you go to jail. Jail is never the answer, but when they're given those options, most people choose the mandatory rehabilitation, and it shows that it actually has a 65%
30 seconds.
success rate.
30 seconds. Do you want to wrap it there?
Oh, it said 30 seconds. Sorry, I thought he said he's done. So to me, I think we've lost that sense of community and engagement with these people that need the most help. Time and time again, I knock on doors and I hear about encampments and people that are on the street, and we provide them a flyer and say, here's the resources that potentially could help you, but we're not giving that human contact of, here, let me help you, here's what you need, and here's how we can get you the help that you need. So that's what I would see.
All right.
I'm okay.
Oh,
That's the scorpion pepper, folks.
Woo! Chef Brown.
How's Albuquerque treating you now?
Now I really feel the 7 years that I've been away.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, it hits the back of your throat.
Well, Kate, you're up first.
Okay. So ready.
The median income in Spokane is $60,000. You've worked for prestigious law firms. Your husband alone makes nearly 10 times that $66,000 median income, according to your financial disclosure. How can average Spokanites trust that you understand their financial struggles and will actually fight for them?
I actually haven't worked for prestigious law firms, but I am a lawyer. And
High-paying career.
Yes, a high-paying career for sure, and one that I incurred a lot of debt for. But I did not grow up that way. I grew up the daughter of 2 public servants. I'm gonna get through this. Forest Service Ranger Forest Service Ranger dad, city planner mom. When my parents got divorced when I was 13, I often shopped at the Goodwill for clothes. I remember the first time I purchased a pair of Lucky Jeans at the Goodwill, and I was very excited. I also remember when those pair of Lucky Jeans were stolen from the pool, and I was disheartened. But my point is, my husband and my husband does make a lot of money, and that's a whole nother level of discussion on whether or not doctors and surgeons should be paid that amount. But it has given me the privilege to commit my life to serving my community, regardless of what the paycheck will be coming back at me. And that's where I think it matters most. My husband also works as a surgeon. He is at Sacred Heart, and he handles all of the people who do not have insurance or Medicaid, and he does that, and he loves his job in part because he's able to give back to the community in that way. And I might die.
Okay. Alejandro,
Same question?
similar question, similar vein. You currently work for SCAFCO under Larry Stone, who pays you more than the city of Spokane will. Actually, nearly 4 times more than the city council position would pay. Are you planning to leave your job at SCAFCO? And if not, how can we trust that you'll represent the interests of the people of Spokane and not Larry Stone, who's a conservative mega donor?
So,
Lied.
again, I've actually made this public, and I'll make it public here again. You know, the money that I will get paid for city council, I'm willing to donate that to nonprofit organizations here in Spokane, because I'm not doing this for the pay. I'm doing this to actually do the job, which is a very challenging job. You know, I admire anybody that steps up to a role in city council and public service. When it comes to Larry Stone, you know, what you know of Larry Stone is through the media and through word of mouth. Who I know of Larry Stone is somebody that I've worked with for the last 9 years, somebody that I respect, somebody that hired me to run his businesses, not necessarily talk about politics. I'm appreciative of his support and giving me the flexibility to do this job. But I encourage him, and I would encourage anybody to talk to me as a concerned citizen. But there's no question in my mind that he would ask for me to do something that is outside of his character. He's probably the most ethical person that I know when it comes to my professional career. And so I won't expect him to do something that goes outside of who he is, or for him to ask me to do something that's outside of who I am. This is about me, my campaign, my values, what I stand for. It's not about Larry Stone and his belief and his values. And my message has been very clear since the beginning, and I'll continue to spread my message at the doors and with
15
anybody that I
seconds.
talk to.
You 15 seconds. Do you want them? You good?
I'm good. I
Yeah.
barely think with this thing.
All right.
Did you just?
I took a pepper.
There was
You
a
took
rebuttal.
pepper.
I
All
actually
right.
took a third pepper. 'cause
Okay,
I forgot
you can
I was
rebut.
on. So I think that this is hit the nail on the head. There are a lot of things that will come before City Council that will have to do with development. And Larry Stone and the people on Spokane Business Association want carte blanche when it comes to development. We need it's a huge conflict of interest. As a matter of fact, yesterday, looking at the Public Disclosure Commission, I decided to figure out exactly how much Larry Stone has committed in the last 5 years to funding the Spokane Good Government Alliance, which is the one that comes out on attack ads with progressives. And the number is $334 million. So
That seems high to me.
Yeah, that
334 million?
34 million, sorry, 34,000, thank you.
Okay.
I was really
334,000.
close. But regardless, my point is that there have been, I guess 334,000.
That sounds right, yeah.
Is it crazy?
No, that sounds right.
Yes, sorry. Decimals. But the point is that this is happening in our community. Politics are trying to be bought by a very wealthy few, and we need to call it out, and we need to be transparent with the public about it. That does not mean that if I'm elected, I will not try to reach out to Larry Stone, because we need his money to go into services in this community, not attack ads. But we need to call this out.
All right, let's
All
hold
right.
your applause. Hold your applause, because there's another. We
We've
got
got
another
a
habanero
rebuttal,
over here.
folks. Our last one of the night. And these two have really toughed it out.
All right.
Give me a minute. When it comes about transparency, when it comes to PDC filings, is that you're supposed to claim everything over $100. I've gone above and beyond the PDC requirements. I actually list every single donation, whether it's $1 or $1,200. A, because I'm proud of who's donating to my campaign, and I want to show their name because it's a motivation to me and why I'm running. And B is because I want people to know where the money's coming from, who's donating to my campaign, whether it's independents, Democrats, or Republicans. It's the people of Spokane who I am representing, where they're, sorry. I encourage other candidates to do so because, you know, we talk about gamemanship in donations. I've heard actually my opponent mention that in a forum or in an event once before. There's no gamemanship. I've been very clear where my money's coming from. I post every single one of them. I'm proud of what they're doing and who they're supporting. But there's a lot of ways where other people are not necessarily showing where the money's coming from. And I think it's important as, wow, this is hitting a lot harder than the one before.
30 seconds.
So I'm very proud of my donors. I'm very proud of where the money's coming from. Every single one is listed. Go look at my PDC filings. I encourage others to do that. That way we don't lump people in and we actually see that the money's being funded in Spokane, not other places in the state. And that's my time, sorry.
Time.
All right. Give them a round of applause, and then we're going to give them their final statements. Pretty bad, yeah? All right. Kate, because you won our civics test, I'm going to let you call this. Heads or tails?
Oh my God.
In the air, right?
Sure.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, 3, 2.
Heads, heads, heads.
Heads.
I'll
All right.
go last.
You'll go last?
Sorry.
Here, let me give you a baby bit more milk.
Oh my God. If I start rambling in Spanish, please put closed caption or something.
We've got
Oh,
KXLY
God.
in the back. I'll put in a request.
Yeah, we'll put in a request.
I don't know how I'm going to do this. That was way too hot. My name is Alejandro Barrientos. I'm running for City Council in District 2. I like to say to people is I'm not a career politician. I'm a father, a neighbor, somebody that cares about Spokane. I've been here 17 years. When I first came here, I was embraced by a community. Oh, I also want to mention I graduated from Gonzaga. Go Sags. I'm embraced by a community, embraced by a city, fell in love with the people, fell in love with the city. I want to give back to a community that's given me so much in the last 17 years. I want my kids and our kids to be able to choose Spokane as a place where they want to grow their roots. But what I ask for people is really get to learn about your candidates. I always welcome people to come to me. If they want to hear about what I think, what my vision is, what my values are, come to me. I welcome you to come, either grab coffee, give me a call. I'd be happy to answer any questions, any concerns, anything you want to know about myself and what I'm doing this for. And to vote. November 4th is, exercise the right that you have. Go out, vote. That's what we need. Like many, I didn't necessarily vote when it was important because I was focused on my career and my 2 kids. But now I know how important it is to use your vote and use your voice. And so I encourage people, get to know your candidates, get engaged with them, and see if you align with them. And whether it's myself or my opponent, please make your voice heard November 4th. Thank you.
You powered through.
I forgot to say it this round, I'll wave at you when you've got 15 seconds left. I was about to wave at you, Alejandro, but you hit it under the time, so go ahead.
Again, my name is Kate Tellis. I'm running for Spokane City Council District 2. I am running because I have spent my career standing up for people. When I was a domestic violence prosecutor working with victims, when I was working for Cuidando los Niños in Albuquerque, working with homeless families with young children, making sure that they had all the services that they need. I'm also a mom and I'm a daughter. And I'm in the sandwich generation. So I feel for our children and their future, and I want to do as much as I can to protect them. I also know what it's like to be aging in this world, and I want policy to address that as well. For the past 6 years, I've committed myself to bettering this community. I've worked in various different volunteer roles, both Moms Demand Action, executive parent-teacher groups, worked on many different campaigns for leaders that I knew would do the right thing when it came down to it. They would be honest, be transparent, be accountable. Spokane is at a crossroads right now. We're facing things post-COVID that we've never faced before. Housing costs are increasingly up. The situation downtown requires a lot of nuanced policy making. And our environment, our Spokane River ran dry. Parts of it ran dry this past month. We need to do things now for us, for our children, and for the future of this country. And there's a lot of crazy things happening in the nation right now. Campaigning is really hard. I tell this to everybody, it's really hard. But I don't think I have a choice because I'd rather be part of the solution in turning the ship around and making us less divisive and more inclusive because I don't want to not do this for the sake of my children and their peers. Something has to change, and that's why I'm stepping up.
All right.
Thank you.
Kate, will you take my call?
Take your call.
Alejandro, you toughed it out. Thank you. Will you take my call in the future?
Thank you so much to all the candidates.
If I have other candidates in the house, do you want to come to the front so we can give you one last round of applause
Yeah.
for the
Anybody's still
sheer
around.
terror I put you through?
Yeah, see Chris, get up here, Zach, Sarah.
Right. Got Chris.
Yeah, one last round of applause.
Stand with the candidates.
Oh my God, that was a lot harder than
Oh, we got a standing O in the front.
Thank you for coming.
There we go.